Hey, what's going on, guys? Christian Hannah Horror here. We got double vision going on, so excuse me. I'm trying to set this up to where I can get good, crisp images of the movie so you could see it, etc., etc. This is just an experiment, and I figured, what the hell? So you got two of me, and I should be moving at the exact same time. Welcome to the history of Halloween, the Halloween franchise on home video. I've got a lot. I think I've got about as much as Friday the 13th. I've got some cool old formats. Of course, we got some of those Laserdiscs. Again, we got some of those CEDs. So there are some that I don't have that I'll try to bring pictures up of, and I'll try to remember to do it as we chronologically go along. Now, if there's some stuff that I skip, whether it be some cool foreign releases to talk about, or perhaps some weird video formats that were extremely short-lived, I apologize. If you, the commenter or the viewer, see something that you know about that is something you could show in the comments or talk about in the comments, please do, for not only the audience, but for my sake too, because I'm still learning about some crazy formats that existed. Let's start again with what was quite possibly some of the earlier releases for these movies, which I think is the CEDs. I've got a couple of those. Now, the reason I'm glad I'm doing Halloween first is because now you guys will look at that camera right over there. So this is a Halloween 2 CED, and what's interesting is that they came in two color CEDs, blue and white. There's no rhyme or reason. I don't know if it was the manufacturer who did it or not, but this is Halloween 2, The Nightmare Isn't Over on CED from MCA in stereo. And in case you're seeing this and you did not watch the Halloween episode, basically, you know, these would come out and they would, you know, be records the way they would play. It was a really bizarre technology. The picture is not great on them, but they're beautiful to own. They're really cool. It's a really cool home format. So this one's cool because it's blue. I don't have a whole lot of them that are blue, and maybe there are some that are white. It could just be a manufacturing thing, but mine is blue. And I think the last one to come out from CED was Halloween 3 on CED. I wish I had that one, but... Oh, wait up. I do have Halloween 3. So here it is, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch on CED. Obviously, that's some beautiful artwork on there. You get that witch from the title. Well, it's like the witch mask, and it turns into the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Beautiful. I don't know that there might have been some, you know... There might have been some blue cases for Halloween 3, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But here is Halloween 3. It's interesting. I don't have the original VHS release, but I'm wondering what pictures they used on the back. Obviously, I'm assuming you get a little bit more, maybe one extra from this because it's bigger. But capacitance electronic disc system. Again, the way these would work was you would take this entire thing and shove it into a player. It would bite onto this and be able to open it up and pull it out. And so then you would, the viewer, if you, the owner, would pull back out the shell of it, but it would pull out the contents in here. But this doesn't just open up on its own. I could break it, but why would I do that? I'm not going to. It's got to activate, the way it bites onto it, it activates something to release it and pulls the record out. Very bizarre format. We'll look at the Laserdiscs next. Now, I pulled out just a couple of them. Some of them I'd like to just look at. So, for Halloween, H2O was the last one to get a release. Now, we'll look at some of varying entries. Here's Halloween 5. Now, this was put out by CBS Fox Video. They're the ones that put out the VHSs and Laserdisc. Now, I believe I got this from a Goodwill online. Yeah, I bought it off Amazon from like a Goodwill store, so I got it really cheap. But all orange in the back. Now I'll show you a Laserdisc. I may as well do this one. But I've got some really cool Laserdisc. I've got what, in my opinion, was the best release of Halloween up until the 4K release that came out from Scream Factory not long ago. So these come, sometimes they come in these plastic sleeves. Again, no rhyme or reason. But this is a Laserdisc. Very cool, huh? Reflective and shiny. Even though it's a disc, it's an analog format. A lot of times the audio was really good. Audio was a big improvement on Laserdisc. The picture, again, was good, but sometimes it was just like really, it was cleaner, better looking VHS rips. But as time would go on, we'd get widescreen, and the audio was even way better by the 90s. So Laserdisc really came into its own in the 90s. We'll save the best for last. Curse of Michael Myers, 1995 Laserdisc. So this was a good release because it was a widescreen. This is theatrical. There was no producer's cut on Laserdisc or anything like that. Obviously, we wouldn't get that until Scream Factory. This is a good-looking Laserdisc, though. I know that this one looks good. Ultra stereo, widescreen, letterbox. This is a good-looking Laserdisc because this was the mid-90s, so Laserdisc was looking really good at this point. They had mastered the technology. This is one of my prized possessions, my Halloween 3 Season of the Witch Japanese Laserdisc. Now that's some cool art. I think Laserdisc was also a region-free format, as far as I can remember. Now, this is a nice Laserdisc case because I wanted to keep this thing in good condition. But I wanted to show you this insert. This is from Thorn EMI, by the way. How about that, guys? Hopefully, you guys should be able to see that real well. How about that? Isn't that something else? Yeah, really, really cool, isn't it? But yeah, I bought this. I've actually been in contact. The guy that I bought this from actually contacted me not long ago. Hey, brother, if you're watching this, I'm going to get you on my channel, and we're going to look. He got back into collecting all these again, and he's got VHS releases you would never know existed from countries you never even heard of. I'm going to get you on my channel, man. We're going to get you on here. We're going to show your collection because I watched you years ago, and now you're going to be on my channel. How about this? This is kind of goofy. This is the Japanese Halloween 6. What happened? Why did they make the Michael Myers so small? It's tiny. On the back, though, they did a great job. Really, really cool there. So, one of my favorite entries. This was the last Laserdisc to come out for the Halloween franchise. This is Halloween H2O. Now, I believe there's actually an even better release of this on Laserdisc. It's got, like, DTS audio. I've seen the release, I believe, online before, but I've never been able to track it down for a decent price. It was fairly expensive Laserdisc, even on a retail release. Jamie Lee Curtis. Sexy, smart, and stunning. But this is one of my favorite Laserdiscs. This is one of my favorite entries. We've really grown to love H2O. This Laserdisc obviously looks and sounds fantastic. I mean, this was at the end of the very end of the lifespan. So the technology had been mastered as well as it could by that point. And this one looks and sounds, I mean, phenomenal. It really does. Up until the Scream Factory set, this was the best release of Halloween you could own, in my humble opinion. The Criterion Halloween 1994 release. This had beautiful, beautiful mono audio. It sounded so robust and great, and you could hear the leaves rustling around in the scenes. I mean, it sounded phenomenal. That's it. We're not going to look at it anymore. I'm kidding. Let's pull this beauty out. This had a Deborah Hill commentary on it. Mine's in pretty good shape. It's not in the best shape. How about that, man? Still one of my favorite releases I own. Probably my favorite release of Halloween I own, period, is this right here, is the Criterion Halloween. Criterion, like, they used to have a better footing in horror, mainstream horror, I would say, back in the... I mean, Criterion was putting out RoboCop in the 90s. You know, now they've kind of got a new model for what they put out and stuff, and it's not a complaint by any stretch. I still love Criterion. I still buy movies from them, but they had a better footing with like mainstay horror back in the 90s. But this release right here, guys, was, in my opinion, the best way to watch the film up until the Scream Factory 4K. It edged it out a little bit, but is this still my favorite release? Without question. You can bury me with this thing. I love this release like nobody's business. I just absolutely adore this release of Halloween. It's fantastic. Came out in 1994. manufactured in the U.S. Digital transfer, $235. Let me keep her here so you guys can still see it. Screen-specific audio commentary with John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, Jamie Lee Curtis. Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert give splatter movies 2 thumbs down while praising Halloween in a controversial 1980 sneak preview segment. The original theatrical trailer, separate music and tracks, additional footage shot for the 1980 television release, photo essay on the making, marketing, and mimicking of Halloween, illustrated filmographies of John Carpenter, Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee, general guide by John McCarty, author of Splatter Movies, Breaking the Last Taboo of the Screen, including capsule reviews of cold-blooded killer movies from The Bad Seed to Halloween 5. About the transfer, Criterion is proud to present Halloween in its original theatrical aspect ratio of 2:35:1. This transfer was made from a 35mm Panavision print minted from the original negative, the 35mm Magnetic Master mono soundtrack, and the 35mm Magnetic mono music and effects track. Footage from the television release is presented full frame, recreated from the original 4-inch broadcast master. So, wow, man, what a release. This is just like the creme de la creme to me. All right, let's look at some VHSs now. Again, there were some beautiful VHS releases, for the Halloween franchises from multiple countries, and I'll pull up a couple right now of just some foreign releases that have just magnificent artwork, some of the most gorgeous artwork you'd ever seen on some of these releases, and some of the most bizarre artworks you've ever seen for some of these releases. And of course, I've got some right here. Here's The Curse of Michael Myers, VHS tape from Dimension Home Video. I've got H2O, which was owned by Michael something. I can't figure out what the last name is, but sorry, Michael. I got it now. Here's an original CBS Fox Halloween 4 release. Thank you, Sean Beard, for sending me this. You're a mensch. This was a cool release. This was a video store copy, by the way. But one of the cool releases that came out, and I talked about this in a previous video, was the Halloween Trilogy release, the Blockbuster Trilogy. So we got Curse of Michael Myers artwork on there. But it included the Blockbusters Presents and then the Good Times Halloween 1 and 2, which, ooh boy, good times. Can't wait to talk about good times. Sell your Scream Factories now. Go on eBay and get the Good Times DVDs. So this was the Blockbusters Presents Halloween release, and what's cool about that is, the artwork. I dig the Blockbusters Presents. There's the tape art for Halloween. They did this, and I think they did a Night of the Living Dead that I really want to get on VHS. I really don't collect VHS no more, but there's some that I want to get that are just really cool. This is from 1995, I believe, is the latest date on here. So yeah, but then they also included the Good Times VHSs of Halloween 2, which is awesome, with Jamie Lee Curtis spelled improperly. Jaime is what they have on there. So that's a cool release. You got the pumpkin with the green eyes, kind of mimicking kind of what Halloween 3 was. And I actually thought that they just did a good job for Halloween 3, adding the kids on the front of that. So I mean, that's actually really cool. I was pretty down with that, the way that came out. So this was the Good Times VHS box set, which I just think is really cool. And Anchor Bay would release some beautiful, and I'll pull pictures of that right now. Anchor Bay would make some beautiful releases of Halloween on VHS. There was the Halloween with the snow globe, which I would love to own. I mean, if anybody owns that and they'd ever be willing to part with it at a decent price, please hit me up. I'm going to take a sip of drink, guys. I'm not editing this video. I love you guys, but I'm just not editing this. And, I would love to own that. That's a beautiful, beautiful release with the snow globe. I would want it in that, hard plastic box that it comes in. I would want the whole thing. I don't want just the snow globe. I want the release. Some magnificent releases of Halloween. Magnificent. And I know that I have friends that have some of these releases, and they're great. There's like an orange VHS one. Beautiful stuff. So with DVD, it's hard to say. There's so much, and there's so much foreign to go through. But one of the mainstays that a lot of us had growing up with Halloween was the Anchor Bay Stars home video release. Now, this is the release with the holographic cover, which I still think you can get this released, still available. I think fairly readily available. And it's got this artwork on there. Now I think you could also have gotten this DVD with this artwork as well on the front with that Michael. I've had this in my home. I've had this in my possession since probably 2000. Man, oh man, 9, something like that. This came out in 2007. Oh, one of my all-time favorite Halloween releases to this day. To this day, one of my all-time favorite Halloween releases is right here, but we're going to save that for last. DVD releases. And then, you know, Anchor Bay would do some of their releases with these special Divimaxes. They would reissue their DVD releases, and here's one, the special Divimax edition, which I think enhanced some of the audio and picture quality. Yeah, basically enhanced for widescreen TVs and things like that. And this is for Anchor Bay. And they were putting out Halloweens 4 and 5 and 1. So, good releases right there. Put a lot of miles on these, so to speak. So those were available. With Halloween 2, I've got the Good Times. I'm going to have to edit. I got to grab the... I know I did, though. They slipped out. So, with the DVDs, I've got... these are just remarkable. We've got to talk about these. So before Anchor Bay got the licensing to do, you know, some of the DVDs and whatnot, Good Times would sweep in at the last moment and do some budget releases of parts 2 and 3 for Universal. Actually, no, not Anchor Bay. Anchor Bay never did 2 and 3. That was Universal. My apologies. Good Times would swoop in and get the rights to release Halloweens 2 and 3. And let me reverse these so it's chronologically right for y'all. These are some of my favorite releases ever. These Halloween 2 and 3 releases. The artwork is just ridiculous. And I know it's ridiculous, but I like to say ridiculous. These are just fantastic. I think the Halloween 2 one is a little bit cooler because of how just wrong it is. You got the car crash at the bottom, Michael from part 1. Halloween 6 on the back. When I found this at my used DVD store the other day, I gasped out loud. I mean, I actually gasped out loud. I think it had the index card. Ooh, yeah. Beautiful disc with Michael Myers from 6 in there, and then the index card. And then here's the Halloween 3, which has the Halloween 2 pumpkin illuminating its green eyes. Stacy Nelkin and a towel on the back. And I got the index card on this one. So how about it? Soon after that, Universal would re-release the parts 2 and 3 themselves, and subsequently, and they would subsequently do. Okay, let me make sure I've got my ducks in a row here. All right, this is what's left for me to show. Subsequently, they would do their own, and here's an example. They did Halloween 2 and 3, and here's the Scarface Halloween 2, which put a lot of miles on this one as well, man. Let me tell you. And before, this was the original Anchor Bay releases for parts 4 and 5. Excuse me, parts 4 and 5. You know, I got this from Blockbuster. I bought it when they were shutting down. You can see Blockbuster Video logo right there on the label. Okay, so here's some of my favorite DVD sets. Here's one I bought at FYE one time. This was the Halloween triple pack, and it was the Miramax set. Comes in this silver box, and it comes with 3 DVDs. Resurrection, the Dimension Collector Series of H2O, and then the DVD for The Curse of Michael Myers. Dig it. I dig it. But that's a cool set. Really cool set. Okay. Second to last cool set. Now, Anchor Bay did these limited edition tins for Halloweens 4 and 5. I don't know if they did one for 1. I can't remember. I know they did it for 4 and 5. They also did Hellraiser. My jewel case completely shattered. so I don't have it in a jewel case, but I'm very, I never watched this version, so. But it's got a really cool write-up in here with a chapter selection, and then I have just a loose disc in here, which is not good. But I'm very careful with this thing, so. As careful as I can be, so. These were limited to 40,000, and I have number 14,000. So I don't have Halloween 5, I just have Halloween 4. Now here's my favorite DVD release. This is a long video. This is probably going to be like a 45-minute video. The special DiviMax Halloween DVD, 25th anniversary. This is one of my favorites. I just love this release. This came with a documentary. Let's see. I think it's called A Cut Above the Rest. And it was, if memory serves, it was voiced by Dee Snider. And it's my favorite Halloween documentary. A Cut Above the Rest is my favorite Halloween documentary. I love it. I love it so much. Great release, widescreen, enhanced for 16:9, and they've got the Deborah Hill commentary on here again. Now this one, feature presentation, and then that's the bonus materials disc, and it also came with this booklet with a blue pumpkin on the front, and then the hand in the car. So really cool write-up booklet in there. This is one of my all-time favorite releases. Picture quality is one thing, but when it just comes to physical media and just memories and charming, when I got this, I thought like getting this DVD when I finally found a use on an FYE this one glorious day, which I had my wife pull the tags off because I didn't want the tags on it. But getting this DVD felt like finding, finding like a diamond. Like it was just like one of the coolest days ever because I've always wanted this release, but I didn't want to have to pay a bunch of money for it. But I was so happy. I love this release with a passion. When I want to watch A Cut Above the Rest, I always pull this out and I lovingly put it in my Blu-ray player. So that's it for the DVDs. I'm actually really pissed off right now, guys, at myself. I for the life of me cannot remember the name of the format for Halloween H2O, where it was like this DVD-looking case that you would play on like a computer, and you would be allowed access to it for like one play, but then you had to like purchase it again or something. It was a very quickly lived format. It was a weird thing, and I just wanted to show it, and I deeply apologize. I cannot remember the name of it to save my life. I've been pondering this for an hour now. If somebody in the comments section could please help me out and let everybody know so they can look it up, I'd appreciate it. Really quick, I actually think I left out a DVD. I just wanted to show that I owned. Here was Anchor Bay also would do double packs, and these were the DiviMax editions of Halloween's 4 and 5, which is probably why I don't own the DiviMax of Halloween 5, is because I have this double pack that included the DiviMax. And I think they were separate discs. Yeah, they were. Yeah, separate discs. I vividly remember getting this from Walmart, and the woman would just... I would go to the self-checkout at Walmart because the scanners would never ask for my ID. But, one time this woman caught me buying the movie. She goes, "You're not 18. I was 17. No, I was 16 at the time. 16 or 17, something like that. I wasn't old enough to buy the movie. It was rated R. "You're not old enough to buy that." I was like, "Yeah, I am." She said, "Well, let me see your ID." I said, "I ain't got it. It's just like an old movie. These aren't scary." She goes, "You can't buy that." And so, I had to come back with my brother, and he had to get it for me. It was ridiculous. Okay, so in terms of Blu-rays, Halloween would get some releases. Like, there was the initial Anchor Bay Blu-ray release, which I own, just not in a way that, is just like I've got the release individually. But I do own... God almighty... I own way too many Halloweens on home video. Let's just look at it. I mean, why not? The 30th anniversary commemorative set. Now, this thing is so ridiculous. I love it. It comes with a mask of Michael on the front. This is from Anchor Bay. It includes Halloween on Blu-ray, the television cut of Halloween, and a Blu-ray of Halloween 4, 5, and 25 Years of Terror, the documentary, which I love. So this set is something else, man. Let me tell you. This is something else. 30th anniversary. So this slides off. It opens up. And there you get some more artwork. A lot of great artwork. This was limited to 20 grand. 20,000 and pieces. So here's the 30th anniversary commemorative DVD set. This is just lovely. Just lovely. Now here it is. There's the Blu-ray. That's the Anchor Bay Blu-ray. Halloween on DVD. Television cut. 25 Years of Terror doc, which is fantastic. Halloween's 4 and 5 Blu-rays. So it's a great set, man. I remember getting this was like a, I was finally like a legal adult when this came out. So I was working. I had my own money. And I was just like so excited to buy this. It was a glorious day, man, I tell you. I was so excited to buy this thing. And there's the mask. If you want to see it. You want to see Michael pissed off? Or sad? Let's make him happy. Now he's sad. Or angry. Okay, let's stop. I'm having too much fun. I try not to touch it too much because I try to keep it in good shape. Not that I'm selling it, but like I just, I want to keep it in good shape. Now, some of the DVD releases are interesting. There were initially some releases like this. This was a big deal when this came out, the 30th anniversary Blu-ray for Halloween 2. That was something else. Now, this came with the Terror in the Aisles documentary, which is the reason I bought this post the Scream Factory box set coming out, which subsequently Terror in the Aisles did come up from Scream Factory, and it has even better picture, but it had it on here, so that was the reason I bought it. I bought it for like $6 just to get the documentary. And here's the Universal release of Halloween 3, which is cool. Well, I almost want to say that this came out after Scream Factory. Yeah, this has 2015 on it. And I just remember seeing it at my local video rental store that has like movie sections where they sell movies. And I was like, I'm going to get that just for collector's purposes. So there's my Halloween 3 Blu-ray. Miramax would do double packs. This is all pre-Scream Factory. Miramax double pack of Halloween and Halloween H2O. The funny story about me getting this was when I found this, I was at Walmart. And I remember they had those big bins, which they still have those bins. And I remember me and my brother would go, and I would just take my hand and shove it down in the bin and pull a Blu-ray out. And I'll never forget, I pulled that out, and I was like, oh, my God, because I didn't own this on Blu-ray at all. So that was a great day. I love this release. I've got a lot of fond memories with this. I used to use this release to watch these movies. And they don't look horrible. I mean, they don't look great, but they don't look bad. So, I mean, for a lot of people, this is just good enough, man. And I can understand that. So this was a big deal. The 35th anniversary for Halloween from Anchor Bay. This was the very first time I ever got excited, and I focused on a movie being initially released. And I remember when I heard about this, this was like a day one purchase. And my Walmart was actually cool enough to have it. And it's a I guess you call these digibooks, I guess. But I love this. I remember I would look at this thing and just read it all the time while watching the movie. And this came with The Night She Came Home, which is the convention that Jamie Lee Curtis did, documenting her time doing that, which was really cool, which was really, really, really cool. Great special features. This was like man. Sometimes I miss this time before everything came out. There's Deborah Hill getting ready to stab John Carpenter. Before the Scream Factory stuff, like the journey is almost more fun than the destination. Getting the stuff is great, but I just remember it was fun, beforehand. God, this Blu-ray is like stuck in there. The Blu-ray is in there. I have to, go to town to get this thing out of there. But the Blu-ray's in there. Cool release. They subsequently released this in a Blu-ray, case version. Which I almost grabbed one time just for collector's purposes, but I was like, I'm fine with this. I actually like the artwork on that a lot. So, yeah, there it is. That was a cool release, man. Good times. Speaking of Rob Zombie, this is one of my favorite releases. The theatrical cuts, which I prefer. I guess you could say I prefer both the theatrical cuts. I don't know. I just like these a lot. It's not that I dislike the director's cuts, really. I don't know. Fond memories. Saw these in the theater. Good stuff. I think I also have this cut from Rob. This was like a really like a nice collector's edition because, I mean, Rob's documentaries, love him or hate him, like he basically shows you everything except him going to the bathroom during the making of this, which he probably should have just done that as well, quite frankly, just so we could see it. But, you know, this is great. This was a cool release, man, because it was just, man, that, I tell you, man, the making of is so extensive, it's ridiculous. That's how everybody should be doing making of, so I appreciate that. Here's a Miramax release Blu-ray from Halloween. You know, good stuff. Now, for the sake of actually, here's a steelbook that came out for Rob Zombie's Halloween. Came out maybe 3 years ago. The inside's actually beautiful. It's a collector's edition. It's the last time Rob Zombie's Halloween got released. Here's a German Blu-ray of Halloween 3. Now, these came out after Scream Factory. A few years after. This is from 2014. Cool stuff. So, for the sake of actually just, like, not having to pull too much stuff, Scream Factory did release Halloween 2 and 3 on Blu-ray. I have those. They're not here, but they're here. So you can see. But we'll save the coolest stuff for last. Halloween 2018, they did some steelbooks for it. I think I kind of like this one more than this one, to be honest with you. But this is some McFarlane guy that they re-released it with another steelbook. And I also like the art on the back of the this one too, with the pumpkin. There's Michael with the knife, so I kind of give the edge to that one. They're doing a steelbook for Halloween Kills. I had it pre-ordered and then I just canceled it. I kind of just like the artwork better for the regular release or the poster, so I'm just gonna get the regular release. I'm not gonna get the steelbook. I think I'm just gonna stick with the regular one. Here it is. The Halloween complete collection. Can't really say that anymore, though, can you? Jesus Christ, we're 33 minutes in. Man, what do I say? I mean, honestly, what do I say? Obviously, this was a big deal. Producer's cut for the first time. There it was. I couldn't believe it. Even when I bought this thing and I got it in my hands, I was like, there's no way there's a producer's cut disc in here until I opened it up and saw it. Now, obviously, these two were the Scream Factory discs. You know. You could not get the Scream Factory art on them, though. I mean, they just put the original art on them, which I guess they just figured, what the hell, nobody's going to want the Scream Factory art anyway. But these are the Scream Factory discs. So, I mean, these are the same releases, so you kind of get the idea. It's cool seeing the Rob Zombies in these black cases, though. Kind of dig that. You know. Cool stuff. And then it came with the booklet. I've got the lithograph in my living room above my couch. It's actually just a beautiful piece of art. So, then you get the booklet. You know. They did a great job with this. I mean, it's still probably the best box set they ever did. As much as I love the Friday the 13th one, I think that this one's probably the best one. I mean, it was beautiful. They just did it was a home run. So, but then Scream Factory said, "Hold the presses. We're gonna give you guys the 10-disc set." So there's the 10-disc set, which I love this set, man. This is like the grab and go set. You know, does not come with the producer's cut, does not come with, you know, well, that's the second disc. It does not come with the producer's cut or, you know, what have you. I actually like the way those look. These cases got the rundown of the titles. It's got a Halloween 4 mask on the side from the poster. And individual discs. I mean, it's really not that bad. I mean, if we're being honest. I think there's art on the underside. Yeah, there's nothing to write home about, but... And then here's the second disc. It's got Rob Zombie's Halloween on the front. And then you got the rundown of the movies. Starting with Curse, which is the not the producer's cut. You get the theatrical cut. Excuse me. I get two cameras, and I'm still not framing it right. H2O, Resurrection, and the Robs, and no bonus disc. So I mean, if you missed out on some stuff if you didn't have this, but I always liked the way these looked. I don't know. So this is the grab and go set. Still like this set. So that's the majority of the Blu-rays, and then just recently we got this. We're coming to a close. I didn't grab all of them, but this was finally became the best release of Halloween to date, in my humble opinion. It was the Laserdisc for so many years, and then this release came out and just did a home run. The 4K Blu-ray set. Man, I've got the I forgot to grab it. But they did. I thought I did. They did. Anchor Bay put out a 4K as well a year or so before these came out. Maybe two years. The 40th anniversary Anchor Bay, which I don't even think used the actual original negative to do the remaster. It looks good, but nowhere near as good as this one. This is the best way to watch this film now. The 4K Halloween. I mean, they crushed it. Son of a bitch. They crushed it, man. I mean, this is a great one. 4K Ultra HD with the Blu-ray, original color time Blu-ray. So, good stuff, man. It's a great release. I mean, it's just that good. It really is that good. And then I grabbed Halloween 3 just because you guys know that's my favorite. Halloween 2, Halloween, the original is my second favorite, obviously, but Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. You know, they did 1 through 5, which people still ask me which one they should get, and I always say, like, if you want just to see the biggest jump in picture quality, 4 and 5. But, Scream Factory Blu-ray. But this one has a new bonus feature. I forgot to mention this. I thought I did. I overlooked it. No, what happened was I thought I saw that feature before, but there's this new feature with the guy from Trick or Treat Studios, and he shows all the cool props and stuff and how he got the licenses for these movies. And so these are the newest releases of the Halloween films. So that is a very brief history of some of the releases for the Halloween films over the years. Very raw and real video. I hope you guys don't mind that. I just want to be authentic. You know, I don't want to be too glossy. It's just not my style. But this was fun to go through this entire collection that I have. And I still forgot some, so go figure. But Jesus, Lord have mercy, I own a lot of Halloween movies. So now we're at the portion where I ask you guys, what are some of your all-time favorite releases of Halloween, whether it be for nostalgia, whether it be for special features, packaging? Just tell me, what is your all-time favorite releases and why? This was so fun to go through. This is a great horror franchise that is still running till this day. And the releases have been vast and very cool. So I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts down below on just your memories. Share with me your memories, and we'll do Nightmare on Elm Street next. I don't have a whole lot, but we'll still do it, and I'll pull up pictures of cool stuff that's come out. So thank you guys for watching this video. Love you guys very much. Take care, and we'll see you next time.